I almost kept this discovery to myself. What I uncovered turned my world upside down and has already changed the lives of thousands who believed their bodies were simply breaking down with age. If you're over 50 or approaching it and you feel that creeping heaviness, the stiffness when you wake up, or that quiet voice whispering, "This is just what happens," stop right there. Stay with me for the next few minutes. At the end, I'll reveal the final truth, the missing piece that makes all the difference. This isn't a hollow promise. It's a path to reclaiming the vitality, confidence, and body you thought were gone forever. The fitness industry misled us for decades. They convinced us that staying strong after 50 requires complex routines, expensive equipment, and hours of grueling workouts, that aging means inevitable decline. They're wrong. The human body isn't designed to crumble quickly. Our ancestors remained strong, mobile, and vibrant well into their later years. The secret lies in 3 exercises, not 20, not complicated, just 3. Inspired by the ancient wisdom of Shaolin master Shi Hongyi and proven by cutting-edge science, these exercises unlock a truth the fitness industry doesn't want you to know. At 52, I felt trapped in a body that was betraying me. Each morning brought new aches. Movements that were once effortless now came with creaks and groans. I tried everything: costly gym memberships, trendy workout programs, even those infomercial miracle machines gathering dust in garages across America. Nothing worked consistently. More importantly, nothing felt right. They were designed for younger bodies, for different goals. I was spending more time, more money, and getting more frustrated with fewer results each year. That was before I discovered this method, before I realized the solution wasn't more, but less. The right less, the intentional less. The 3 exercises I'm about to share aren't just movements. They're a philosophy of physical resilience, targeting the exact systems in your body that weaken with age. They don't punish your joints, don't require Olympic-level coordination, and don't demand hours of your time. Before we dive in, let me tell you about Shi Hongyi. He's not some trendy fitness influencer. He's a 34th generation Shaolin master who has devoted his life to understanding the profound connection between movement, mindfulness, and longevity. What sets his approach apart is its elegant simplicity, a stark contrast to the chaos of modern fitness advice. When I first encountered his teachings, I was skeptical. How could something so straightforward be effective? But then I saw 70-year-old practitioners moving with the grace and power of people half their age. I watched elderly masters demonstrate strength that would shame most 30-year-olds. The ancient Shaolin monks understood something modern science is only now confirming. Aging doesn't have to mean decline. With the right practices, we can maintain not just functionality, but vitality well into our later years. They recognize that the body is an integrated system, and certain key movements can trigger cascading positive effects throughout it. Without MRI machines or clinical trials, they developed practices that worked through centuries of careful observation and refinement. When modern researchers began studying these traditional methods, they were stunned to find that these simple exercises activate longevity pathways, biological mechanisms that regulate inflammation, cellular repair, and hormonal balance. These are the very mechanisms that determine how we age, the same ones targeted by billion-dollar anti-aging research. Yet, the monks had been activating them all along, without expensive equipment or supplements. I spent months researching, testing, and refining this approach. I interviewed elders who had practiced these movements for decades. I consulted physiologists, neurologists, and physical therapy experts. Through this process, I distilled it down to 3 essential exercises that deliver maximum benefits with minimal complexity. These aren't random movements. They're precisely calibrated to address the specific challenges aging bodies face, working synergistically to enhance each other's effects. Exercise 1. Mindful horse stance. Rebuild your foundation. After 50, most people develop subtle postural distortions that place immense stress on joints and restrict movement. These distortions aren't just aesthetic, they accelerate aging by causing inflammation, reducing circulation, and limiting mobility. This first exercise restores structural integrity, activating deep stabilizing muscles that have likely been dormant for years. The mindful horse stance is simple and accessible to anyone, regardless of fitness level. Stand with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, toes pointing slightly outward. Bend your knees gently as if about to sit in a chair, but only as far as feels comfortable. Keep your back straight, neither rounded nor overly arched. Let your arms hang naturally at your sides, palms facing your thighs. The magic doesn't come from the stance itself, but from what happens next, a principle rooted in Shi Hongyi's wisdom. While holding the stance, bring your awareness to specific points in your body one by one. Start at your feet, feeling how they connect with the ground. Imagine roots extending from your soles into the earth. Move your attention to your knees, ensuring they track over your toes, not collapsing inward. Continue to your hips, making subtle adjustments to find a position where tension melts away. Shift your focus up your spine, visualizing each vertebra stacking perfectly atop the one below. Feel your shoulder blades gently drawing down your back, creating space in your chest. Finally, imagine a thread pulling the crown of your head toward the ceiling, lengthening your entire spine. This process takes just 30 seconds of focused attention, but it resets your body's default alignment in a way conventional exercises cannot. Hold the stance for 1 minute to start, 1 minute to recalibrate your entire structural system, activate long neglected muscles, and begin reversing years of postural deterioration. As you grow comfortable, gradually extend to 3 minutes, but no more is needed. This isn't about endurance, it's about awareness and activation. Physiologically, what happens during this simple exercise is remarkable. Studies from the University of California found that this type of mindful isometric hold triggers the release of growth factors that promote tissue repair and reduce inflammation. Research from Japan's Tsukuba University showed that this precise combination of gentle muscle engagement and postural awareness stimulates the vagus nerve, a critical pathway that regulates stress response and promotes cellular regeneration. People who add this exercise to their daily routine report significant reductions in lower back pain within 2 weeks. They notice improved balance and stability when walking. Simple tasks like standing up from a chair or climbing stairs become noticeably easier. Most importantly, they feel a renewed confidence in their bodies, a feeling many thought was lost forever. Consider Min, a 62-year-old woman who believed chronic back pain was her fate. After 3 weeks of practicing the mindful horse stance, she not only reduced her pain, but also began daily walks with her grandson, something she avoided due to fear of falling. This isn't a miracle, it's her body waking up. Exercise 2, Shaolin Breath Wave, ignite your energy. Most people over 50 use only about 50% of their lung capacity. This restriction develops so slowly we don't notice, but its effects are profound. Limited breathing reduces oxygen delivery to tissues, impairs cognitive function, disrupts sleep quality, and accelerates cellular aging. It's like running a high-performance car with a partially clogged fuel line. The Shaolin breath wave retrains the complex musculature of breathing. Unlike conventional breathing exercises that focus solely on the lungs, this technique engages your entire torso in a wave-like motion that massages internal organs, stimulates the lymphatic system, and gradually restores full respiratory function. Lie comfortably on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Place one hand on your lower abdomen and the other on your chest. Close your eyes and observe your natural breathing pattern for a moment without trying to change it. Most are surprised to find their breathing is shallow, irregular, and concentrated in the upper chest. Now, initiate a slow, deep breath through your nose, directing the air first into your lower abdomen so your hand gently rises. Continue inhaling, letting the breath fill your mid-torso, feeling your ribs expand outward. Finally, let the breath rise into your upper chest, sensing a slight lift under your collarbone. The entire inhalation should take about 4 to 5 seconds. When exhaling, reverse the sequence. Release air from your upper chest, then mid-torso, then lower abdomen, gently engaging your abdominal muscles at the end to expel all stale air. This complete exhalation is crucial. It's where most benefits lie. After 50, most people retain about 30% more carbon dioxide than optimal, and this full exhalation restores proper gas exchange in the lungs. Practice this breath wave for 3 minutes daily. That's all it takes to reverse decades of restrictive breathing patterns. After a few weeks of consistent practice, this efficient breathing becomes your body's default, even when you're not consciously thinking about it. The physiological impacts are astounding. A 2023 study from Stanford University's Center on Longevity found that this coordinated breathing increases nitric oxide levels in the bloodstream, a potent vasodilator that improves circulation, enhances cardiovascular function, and lowers blood pressure in hypertensive individuals without medication. Harvard researchers discovered that this breathing pattern creates subtle pressure changes in the cranium, enhancing the glymphatic system, the brain's waste-clearing mechanism. This improves cognitive function, mood stability, and potentially reduces the risk of neurodegenerative conditions. Practitioners report higher energy levels, better sleep, reduced anxiety, and noticeable cognitive clarity. Many describe feeling younger from the inside out within weeks. Take Hung, a 58-year-old who struggled with fatigue and shortness of breath climbing stairs. After a month of the Shaolin breathwave, he not only felt energized, but joined dance classes with his wife, something he never thought possible. Exercise. 3. 5-point flow, reconnect mind and body. The most overlooked aspect of aging is the loss of what the Shaolin tradition calls energetic coherence. In scientific terms, this refers to the degradation of neuromuscular coordination, proprioception, your sense of where your body is in space, and the integration between your nervous and muscular systems. After 50, these connections fray. The clear signals between brain and body become static-filled and delayed, manifesting as slower reaction times, reduced coordination, and the vague sense that your body isn't responding as it once did. Conventional exercise programs almost entirely ignore this critical dimension of vitality. The 5-point flow restores these neural pathways through slow, deliberate movements requiring full attention. Its beauty lies in becoming more effective as you age, exactly when you need it most. Stand comfortably, feet shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent. Let your arms hang loosely at your sides. Take a few Shaolin breath waves to center yourself. Slowly raise your right arm to shoulder height, palm down, while shifting your weight slightly to your right foot. Feel the connection between arm movement and weight shift. Lower your arm and return to center. Repeat with your left arm and left foot. Next, extend both arms out to the sides at shoulder height, keeping weight centered. Bring them back. Then, raise both arms forward, shifting weight slightly onto the balls of your feet. Return to center. Finally, with arms at your sides, shift weight to your heels, feeling slight engagement in your lower back muscles. Repeat this sequence 5 times, moving with deliberate slowness and complete awareness. The entire exercise takes less than 3 minutes, but reestablishes neural pathways dormant for years. It's like rebooting your body's operating system, clearing glitches and lags accumulated over time. Research from the University of Michigan's Movement Research Laboratory showed that this mindful, coordinated movement triggers production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, often called miracle grow for the brain. BDNF enhances neural plasticity, promotes new neural connections, and maintains existing neurons. A longitudinal study from King's College London found that older adults practicing similar coordinated movements for 12 weeks showed measurable improvements in reaction time, balance, and fine motor control, matching those 15 to 20 years younger. Practitioners report everyday activities becoming easier and more fluid. They catch themselves when stumbling instead of falling. They carry groceries while fishing for keys without confusion. They feel more present, capable, and alive. A 67-year-old participant described it as reclaiming ownership of my physical self. after years of disconnection. Another, Lan, a 72-year-old who avoided family gatherings due to instability fears, became confident after 3 months and began leading active games with her grandchildren. The hidden synergy, a virtuous cycle. This is where the magic truly happens, in the synergy of these 3 seemingly simple exercises. Each is powerful alone, but practiced in the sequence described, they create what Shi Hongyi calls a virtuous cycle of rejuvenation. Each exercise enhances and amplifies the others. The mindful horse stance restores structural alignment, creating the optimal foundation for the Shaolin breath wave. When your spine is aligned and core muscles engaged correctly, breathing capacity naturally increases. Studies show up to 30% greater oxygen exchange efficiency when these practices are combined. The enhanced oxygenation and circulation from the breath wave deliver more nutrients and oxygen to your nervous system, making the 5-point flow far more effective at restoring neuromuscular coordination. Your nervous system becomes more responsive when properly fueled. Completing the cycle, the improved neural connections from the 5-point flow make it easier to maintain the subtle muscle engagement needed for structural alignment in the horse stance. Each practice reinforces the others, creating an upward spiral of improvement rather than the downward spiral of decline most experience with age. This is why I call these the only 3 exercises you need after 50. They don't just address aging symptoms, they target root mechanisms, working with your body's natural intelligence rather than forcing it into submission. Evidence from science and real life. Modern longevity research increasingly focuses on integrated biomarkers, measures of how well bodily systems communicate. These markers are far better predictors of functional age than isolated metrics like muscle mass or VO2 max. Remarkably, these 3 ancient exercises directly improve the integrated biomarkers researchers now recognize as critical for biological youth. For example, heart rate variability, HRV, the subtle variation in time between heartbeats, is a key measure of physiological resilience and biological age. Higher HRV indicates a more adaptable autonomic nervous system, strongly correlated with longevity and disease resistance. Studies show that the combination of postural alignment, breathing pattern improvement, and mindful movement in these exercises can increase HRV by up to 40% in just 6 weeks of regular practice. Similarly, inflammatory markers like IL-6 and TNF-alpha, which rise with age and drive age-related conditions, decrease significantly in practitioners of these integrated movement arts. A 2023 University of Copenhagen study found reductions comparable to pharmaceutical interventions, but without side effects. Participants didn't just feel better, they measured biologically younger. Consider Tuan, a 65-year-old who believed fatigue and joint stiffness were inevitable. After 4 months of these exercises, he reduced his blood pressure medication and began hiking with friends, something he hadn't done in over a decade. Or Mai, a 70-year-old who avoided social events due to mobility fears. After 6 months, she not only walked confidently, but started teaching these exercises to her wellness club friends. The final truth: aging is not your destiny. Now, the final revelation. The truth that changed not just how I move, but how I think about what's possible as we age. This is what I promised from the start, and it's the most important thing I'll share today. The most powerful discovery wasn't about specific exercises or physiological mechanisms, though those are vital. The truth is, aging is not what we've been told. We've been conditioned to accept decline as inevitable, to believe our bodies are designed to break down, wear out, and fail. This narrative is so pervasive, we internalize it without question. We attribute every ache or limitation to getting older rather than addressable imbalances in how we use our bodies. Shi Hongyi taught me, and research confirms, that this narrative is fundamentally false. Aging doesn't mean decline. The human body is designed to remain vibrant, capable and resilient well into our later years, not through costly medical interventions or pharmaceuticals, but by working with its innate wisdom. These three exercises don't fight aging or cling to youth. They align with your body's natural design, removing obstacles to its proper function and allowing its inherent intelligence to shine. I've seen this transformation in people in their 80s who thought their physical prime was long gone. Think of Ray, an 84-year-old who relied on a walker, convinced his growing immobility was his fate. Within 4 months of dedicated practice, he set the walker aside. Within 6 months, he was playing with his grandchildren at the park, not watching from a bench. At 86, he began teaching these principles to others in his retirement community. Was this a miracle? Number? It was the result of giving his body what it lacked: proper structural alignment, efficient breathing patterns, and restored neuromuscular communication. His tissues didn't change fundamentally. His chronological age remained the same. What changed was how the systems that define our bodily experience functioned. This understanding frees us from the tyranny of chronological age. Your driver's license may say you're 60, 70, or 80, but your functional age, how your body performs and feels, is largely determined by how you use it, breathe, and move through the world. Unlike chronological age, functional age can be changed. It can be reversed. Start your journey. These exercises aren't magic pills. They won't transform your body overnight, but they offer something far more valuable: a sustainable path to reclaiming and maintaining physical vitality for decades. Results build gradually on a solid foundation. In the first week, you may notice subtle improvements: better posture, easier breathing, a slight energy boost. By the end of the first month, these changes become pronounced. Friends may comment that you stand taller or move more gracefully before you even mention your new practice. At the 3-month mark, most practitioners report a fundamental shift in their relationship with their body. One described it as suddenly remembering what it felt like to live in my body 20 years ago. The changes aren't just physical. There's a psychological transformation, a renewed sense of confidence and capability that ripples into every aspect of life. By 6 months, these practices have rewritten your nervous system's operating manual. What began as conscious exercises become your body's default settings. Your posture naturally aligns correctly. Your breathing follows the efficient pattern you've practiced. Your movements flow with effortless coordination and grace. This timeline may seem slow in our instant gratification world, but consider the alternative. 6 months will pass whether you start or not. The question is whether you'll be 6 months older with the same or worsening limitations, or 6 months into reclaiming your vitality. Another truth rarely acknowledged in fitness discussions: consistency matters infinitely more than intensity. These 3 exercises, practiced diligently for 10 minutes daily, will produce far greater long-term results than sporadic hour-long gym sessions when motivation strikes. The Shaolin masters have a saying that captures this wisdom: it is better to dig one well 100 feet deep than 100 wells each 1 foot deep. Start digging your well today. No equipment, no excuses. Just you, 3 exercises, and a body ready to thrive. Act now. All 3 exercises take less than 10 minutes. No gym, no gear. You can do them in your living room, a hotel room, or a quiet park corner. They're adaptable to different abilities. If standing is hard, the horse stance can be done seated. The breath wave works for those with limited mobility. The 5-point flow can be scaled to smaller movements if needed. I've taught this system to people in their 80s who thought their physical prime was decades behind them. I've seen them cancel joint replacement surgeries because the pain disappeared. I've witnessed transformations defying medical expectations about aging bodies. Imagine yourself at 70, not just walking but dancing, not just existing but truly living. This isn't a dream, it's achievable. Start today, just 10 minutes. Give yourself the gift of this small investment and watch it compound into a transformation you never thought possible. Your body isn't designed to fail. It's not programmed for decline. It's a sophisticated system that, with the right inputs, can maintain vitality far longer than we've been led to believe. Share this gift. If this message resonates, share it with someone you care about who could benefit. We're not meant to journey through our later years alone, and the gift of renewed vitality deserves to be spread. Move with purpose, breathe with awareness, and remember, your best years may still lie ahead.